Good dawning today. We're Grand Rising. Anyway, what's good? So I've turned off the. Sorry about that. I forgot to turn off the Wi-Fi and on the mobile. Anyway, my point was I don't want a delicious troll to end up on my plate, and then I waste my time arguing with them. It's going to be bad enough if this becomes a tangent that I can't fucking stop before I get off my exit. Anyway, Grand Rising. My friends, my enemies, my frenemies, how do you merge family and enemy? My femini? I have no idea who in my family would be my fucking enemy right now. I'm fortunate that I held myself together in the manner that I did, where when it comes to, blood family, I don't know, I've kept that, right? It's just that, like, as far as loyalty and allowing you to be yourself, like, my family's kind of cool with that, right? More so now than they were in the past because of the lessons that they learned. So I called this stream Stepping In, Stepping Up, which, I don't know, that I may want to change that title because it sounds too much like gym rat fucking meme shit. But, I throw these titles up as a kind of a conscious focus for myself to keep it thematically about that and the longer thought in my head that it's that I'm stretching out of that simple package title. Because I went through quite a few weeks since the eclipse of stepping out, right? I stepped out of the world that existed before the before the eclipse into the world that existed when the moon finished its passage. How's it going, guys? Now I got 39 people. Sorry, no trolls allowed today. I just don't want to get caught up in them while I'm thinking and driving, only because, I got to be at work in like 15 minutes, and if this thought goes on that long, I don't want to insult anybody by having not addressed them if they said something good, meaning that I'm also going to have to see troll comments that I'm just going to be like, ooh, I want to eat that one. But yeah, I've been spending all these times in a stepping out process, right? Like, I'm sure that there's a card in the I Ching that would eloquently describe what I've been putting myself through. So I've been stepping out of all manner of old modalities for myself, especially on the social integration side of it. I'm really putting myself into a more refined focus that is going to be reflective of the company that I keep. Because, like I said when I was having my meltdown, I repeat it often. Higher quality people, right? So I will move forward with people of higher quality. People, that they can appreciate someone on such a hardcore level of the individuation process. Because they know that despite all that, we're in alignment on the highest matters. And we just gotta roll with people because they're gonna go through fucking changes. Right? Some people have gone through changes themselves and can't appreciate that somebody wants to go through another change. Right? And they're not mature enough to handle that properly. So they handle it in public because they need other people's approval to feel like that was the right move on a personal level. Right? Because of the assumptions of what's personal. So I now have learned the lesson that everybody is fucking like this. Every single fucking solitary fucking soul is like this, unless I have heard them and seen them be a certain kind of person that I notice would never or have never, right? And then I notice that those kinds of people, they go through the same, a whole bunch of fucking friends fuck them over fucking scenario. Right? Because we thought that we weren't just friends, but that we were on mission. But we weren't on mission. We were running away from fighting the bigger problem, right? As opposed to merely rallying the troops, if you will. Okay. This war just beat the hell out of us. Let's dig a fucking foxhole and fucking throw some bandages on, fucking reload our ammo. You get the point, right? The point is that you're taking a reprieve from the fighting. And this is on a more macrocosmic level. So it involves having the peace of a home that is not being harassed and the luxury of being able to take your shoes off and walk barefoot in the woods, etc., etc. Right? And we've allowed that comfort. We've allowed that comfort to turn us into trendy douchebags. And so we've turned our we've turned our anthem against the system into our social media trend, so you can't even tell the difference between us and them. And then but also we just simply have the cringy wrong beliefs, right? Especially if you're insisting that you only want to fucking trust people to think the earth is flat, right? Or think the earth is round for that fucking matter, right? And unfortunately, the reason why that is a thing, especially something like that, is because, yeah, there is a psyop attached to it. But then again, anything that's going to be big is going to have a psyop. If you're a pagan, there's a psyop pagan thing, and you've got to fucking defend the name of the pagan if you call yourself pagan, right? That's what Thomas Sheridan does, right? Thomas Sheridan is never going to get along with a pagan who takes the earth being round not seriously, right? It can't just be that you don't take the earth being flat seriously, right? Like that's what seems obvious to me, right? And that's because probably the psyop was very effective at harassing him And he has to do those things to protect his charisma, right? Because he doesn't want to get wrapped into their little group of their little social agreements, right? It's that protection. It's like, if you ever saw the Forest King short, if you're into In Shadow and Kingdom, there's the Forest King, which is not on YouTube yet, and it's part of a bigger anthology series, but it's the same guy, right? And it's just like, the way you win the Forest King's game is that you give up your individuality and you fall into the collective. It's very Freud's collective ego overcoming one who does not do the shadow work to differentiate from the collective unconscious. And then you end up putting on the mask and effectively becoming Gollumized. And so it protects you from being spirited away into an isolated in-group that thinks that that is the only way or the most superior way of being pure. And thus it becomes about being a Puritan. And then you become a Puritan. And you become a Puritan that will wear the mask of Odin. You're just a Puritan because you're serving puritanical ideology and thinking that, oh, puritanical ideology has been given a bad name. When it used to be that Christians got a bad name because they became puritanical ideologists. And we're just playing word fucking salad because we don't want to be fucking honest with ourselves and we need an ism. Or an anity. Or an Henry. Keith Henry. Like, you know, I'm stretching for the suffix. But do you catch my riff here? Right? So stepping in and you know, and stepping up. So I'm stepping into a more individuated future as I have you know, burned out my unconscious need for certain kinds of acceptances. Right? Does my heart still yearn to belong? Yeah, it's fucking it's a kind thing. If I see a group of people, I like their group. Am I welcome amongst their group? Or do I have to become their group? Right? Because there's reasons why you don't become a group like that. Right? Which makes it difficult because you need to become a group to distinguish yourself as you're working together. You know, and you want to give something a name and you want to do all this stuff. And so I'm not saying that that's all wrong, but I'm just saying that your approach has to be a certain way because of its influence on the soul. And what the soul wants to accept and reject really. And you're going to face it different than those that deceive because you are not a deceiver. You put it out there in the open because you believe that under proper representation, its self-evident divine nature will be apparent to most of those who you would maybe call the profane. And despite them not understanding it on the initiated level that you do, they still accept it because you did all the right things to establish true trust. And so I still have to work on mastering that. I know that it's there, it's real, and it's a thing. It has been my failures in trust, you know, that kill me. Because at the end of the day, I don't feel right unless I'm just all out here in the open, because I can come off way too delusions of grandeur, the grandiosity that can swallow the ego. This is why I keep myself exposed to trolls. I give myself a lesson in handling shit. Not today, though. You have to appreciate these moments where I don't feel so overtly compelled to talk, that I can take a second to inhale, have an influx of oxygen, let the prana come in. You know, this gives you a more wu-wei aspect of handling things and asking yourself who you really are. Or what really is the deepest from the heart place that you can say a thing. These are good reasons to stop and breathe in the middle of a thought. To not be afraid to talk slowly. You can talk slowly, that can give you more command of the situation, because you get a chance to project the gravitas of the words that you use, which then can convey to people the level of respect that you have for your idea. The careful choice of words, pronunciation of words, clarification of meaning. Sometimes I can be a little bit riddly, making me a little ridiculous. I think there's something between riddle and ridicule, because they're practically the same word. And then you got ridiculous is a little bit like riddle and ridicule. But tying riddle to those two words, I've not heard that. It probably has been thought of a million times because of, you know, somebody goes on a tangent or a tear about the word rid, especially if they listen to hip hop and some guy is just trying to fucking, you know, find linguistic flow. And so he's doing to play off of bars, right? So you bring yourself into that focus and that clarity. And you pull it from a deeper place. And there's a lot of people that can do that. They're the ones that don't have to worry about production up front. Some of them would do it way better than me. So thus, I have to do it better. Otherwise, I'm going to have to spend a whole lot of money on production. I don't want to do that. Alright, so I've just about reached my my destination, right? And so, I've talked about why I'm stepping in, what am I stepping up to? I'm stepping up to being, you know, much more focused towards goals that I've, well, there's my music, which will be, you know, not documented here that much. But everything that I've been doing for the freedom and consciousness movement That's going to be the biggest deal. All right, what time is it? Oh, it is 8 on the nose. All right, so I'm technically going to be about 2 minutes late with my punching in situation. Okay, thanks, guys. I'll catch you later. Check out my interview with Mario West and and I got an interview on Awaken Your Mind that will be co-streaming on this channel. Interviewing Tom Althouse. Mario West will be there. All right, catch you later.